Great job at downloading your Remote Career Freedom Guide. I am so excited to see which of those 175 companies gets you the most excited. But landing one of these jobs is going to be way different than anything you've ever done before. So now that you've got all these companies, what are you going to do about it? If you think that you're going to be able to waltz in and do all the things that you've been able to do before to land this dream job, my friend, I've got some bad news for you, right? You are headed down to a long, dark road of nowheresville if you don't change up how you go about these jobs, because your competition is now fierce. You've got national competition in almost all the cases and international competition in many of these cases. And I can show you how to win even when the competition is just crushing. I'm Tammy Alvarez, and a lot of people know me as the creator of the Career Winner Circle, where I've helped hundreds of professionals just like you build vibrant careers where you're making a massive impact, having a lifestyle that they love, and getting to that point where they love every single Monday morning. And when I was an executive on Wall Street, I had the luxury of hiring from anywhere around the world. And so what that meant, though, is that so many talented and ambitious people went with rejection letters instead of job offers. And just a few years ago, it used to be if you were good enough at your job and you had a good network, you could land another role without a problem. But that hasn't happened in a long time, a few years at least, and it won't ever again. The rules have changed. And if you're watching this, you probably know what I'm talking about. You get that pit in your stomach. You're like, okay, do I really have what it takes? What's the competition like? How do I stand out? All of these questions start going into our head, and we move from being super confident to really starting to second guess ourselves. And that can stop you in your tracks and prevent you from moving forward, trying to get a role that you know you want for your career and for your lifestyle. And it's going to get you back into that soul-crushing grind, and this is not where you want to be. And I know, at least when I was in those situations, and I'm sure you too, when you think about how confident you are and how successful you are, and then what happens in your head as you're going through this process, it must drive you nuts, because I know it drove me crazy. You go from this rock star, center stage status to feeling like you're a knucklehead in the nosebleed seats that no one pays attention to. And I don't want you to let the dread of finding a new job slow you down. And these new rules that you need to play by are easy. And I'm going to show you how to do that because I've created the perfect solution for you. And this solution works in every industry. It works in every level. It even works if you would rather give a speech naked in front of 1,000 people than find another job again, right? Because let's face it, no one loves looking for a job. It sucks. But I'm going to show you how to do it to where it's fun and, most importantly, effective. So back in corporate, when I hired those people, the ones that did get that offer letter, they didn't have any special talents. They weren't necessarily any more qualified than the others that I was interviewing, but they did have a few standout characteristics that set them apart from the pack. And I want you to have that edge too. And so everyone can get this edge, whether you're 5 years in your career or you have 5 years left until retirement. I don't care if you're an accountant or a zoologist, everybody in here that's talking to me or listening to me at this point can have that edge. And I want you to stop for a minute and imagine. Imagine knowing you have the inside track and that you're confident and that you know you have what it takes to beat out those 1,500 people that are applying for this job. And you are the one that gets to say, see you later to that soul-crushing commute and saying hello to a company that has a culture that gives you energy and that has a vibrant career, a lifestyle that you love, and really without giving anything up and most likely getting more things in return. All of this because you have the inside track. And so I've got this program that you can have access to immediately that gives you that inside track. And what you do is you'll have an opportunity to learn exactly how to optimize your LinkedIn profile so that way people can find you. Your best people are finding you. I'm also going to give you a DIY for your resume so that way you build a resume that has hiring managers dying to meet you. I'm going to give you an interview prep checklist because when you're interviewing virtually, it is so different and you don't want to screw this up. And then last, you're going to watch a training program on how to ace a virtual interview. And the people who have watched this, I've had 3 people come back and tell me the next interview they had after watching this video, they landed the job. And I want you to be able to do that too because this stuff works. So I want you to get the playbook. I want you to learn the new rules. And for you to be able to do that, I'm assuming that if you look at what other coaches are charging, you're going to have to pay between $500 and $1,500 to get this holy grail of the new world. But the good news is I'm not normal. And I want you to be able to succeed. And I want you to have that vibrant remote career that you want for yourself. And the market is hot right now, so I want you to move while everything is going on. And I'm offering this to you at a ridiculously low price of $29.97. So that is essentially a $1,400 cost savings based on what you would expect to pay for normal coaches. And as a 20-year executive, I know how it happens. I know what happens when people get hired. I know what happens when people don't. And I share all of these secrets with anybody who comes into the Career Winners Circle, because you can take that to move forward, and you can take that and move faster. Now, there are people who watch and people who take action. And I can only help you if you take action by clicking the button below and buying the Accelerator Pack. Because you're going to get that LinkedIn optimization, which is really the where everything is happening right now. Your resume is going to crush it, and you're going to be able to use that to get that opportunity. Then you're going to prep for that interview and have that rock star technique that I show you in the training. So you're the one walking away with the offer letter, not the rejection letter. So click that button, be an action taker, join the career revolution with me today, and get that career back in control so you have that vibrant career and the lifestyle that you want for yourself. I will see you on the inside.